Hi guys, my name is Melody Shuman and I'm the creator of SKILLZ Connect. And I want to talk to you a little bit about the SKILLZ program and particularly with the transition to the next belt levels. So first, let me rewind a little bit and explain why SKILLZ Connect was created in the first place. When I owned and operated a martial arts school about 15 years ago, we had all ages in the same class, and I'm talking about ages 7 and up. And the challenge that we were having is between mid-level, intermediate level, and advanced level, the younger kids, particularly the 7 and 8-year-olds, we were finding that the curriculum was becoming really difficult for them. So we noticed a lot of students were quitting. They were actually dropping out because the curriculum was getting too hard. At the same time, we were also losing some of our older kids because what we tried to do is slow the curriculum down, make it a little bit easier for the younger kids to keep up. So then we noticed that the older kids were dropping out around the same ranks, mostly because they were saying the curriculum was getting too easy. So we noticed this really big learning gap between the younger children, talking about 7-year-olds, and also your older children, your 12, your 13, your 14-year-olds. And it does make sense that they shouldn't be learning in the same class. If you think about it, 7-year-olds are in the 2nd grade. And then we're talking about your 12-year-olds, you're talking about 6th grade, 7th grade. You wouldn't teach 2nd graders and 6th graders the same math. It just doesn't make sense. And the same thing in martial arts, because reaching the level of black belt, it's such a prestigious level because there's so much knowledge and information that you have to learn and develop in order to reach that rank. So it kind of makes sense that younger kids and older kids training side by side to attain that same goal, it's not going to work. So with that said, we created what's called the SKILLZ program. We broke our students up by age to target their stage of development and make sure that they're learning and building skills that are appropriate for their stage of development, so that by the time they actually reach black belt, they're going to be well trained, well seasoned. We also know that we're not going to lose as many students who are leaving because the curriculum's getting too hard, particularly the younger students who are having a challenge when they get up to like that red belt, black belt level. At the same time, we're not going to have the older kids saying, it's getting too easy, I want to leave, because we're trying to target the younger kids. So with that said, when we broke the students up into their own particular program, we decided the ages that were best fit for those age groups. So as you can see over here, I'm going to bring you to our belt rack, and we're just going to focus on the core and extreme skills. You can see here 7, 8, and 9-year-olds. Those are your 2nd, 3rd, and 4th graders. They're all kind of in that same learning stage of development. So we put them in their own program, and they have their own belt levels that they actually progress through. Then the same thing with the 10 to 14-year-olds, what we're able to do is they're able to keep and maintain that actual belt system, knowing that the younger students aren't going to be slowed down. Now the challenge becomes, especially I get this from parents who say, well, if my child was in the higher rank of this program and they're 7 or 8 years old and now they're transitioning into the parallel level, which is the advanced level of the Core SKILLZ program, that means that now they're going to have to go through more belt levels to get to black belt. Now that's okay, because if you think about it, what's going to happen is, A, your child is not going to get to black belt at a premature age. Let's face it, if your child is 7 or 8 years old and they're at this rank, chances are they're not at their stage of development. Chances are they're behind the other kids that are older. So when they get their black belt, if they do actually make it that far, because the curriculum is so challenging, they may look good. Chances are they're not going to look as good as the older kids, unless they're an exception to the rule, keeping that in mind. So with that said, it does make sense to add more belt levels into their curriculum so that when they go through the actual training process, by the time that they reach that black belt, they're going to be more seasoned, they're going to be better developed, and they're going to be considered an ultimate black belt for their particular age group. So as a parent, what you want to do is ask yourself, would you rather take a shortcut to black belt and get your child there really quickly at a younger age, knowing that they may not be quite at their stage of development and may not be quite seasoned in their particular skills for the program? Or does it make more sense to extend their training so that they get all the best training that they need that's appropriate for their stage of development and reach that level in a more refined, more structured manner? So you want to ask yourself that, and obviously we should know the question as a parent. The martial arts training shouldn't be about the destination, it should be about the journey. So once again, I just want to say thank you guys very much for being part of the SKILLZ Connect family. And of course, if you do have any other questions, feel free to ask your instructor, and I'm sure they'll be able to answer them for you as well. Thank you guys.